Hang on. Welcome to the Chuck and Dave pod. I'm Dave.
I'm Chuck.
I feel like we should do that in a different order because it's Chuck and Dave pod. You should say I'm Chuck, and then I should say I'm Dave. I just feel like that'd be better. Looks like we got two people watching already. I love it.
On my side, that's what I heard. I said Chuck, and then you said Dave, but maybe you do have a lapse from me.
Yeah, we might be behind. That's okay. There's a little bit of a
episode 2. We got a fair. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there we go. Sam Spencer. Sweet. Well,
by the
welcome.
way, I did get a shared screen over there on the side. So if we get to it, we get to it.
That's good. All right. This is the podcast about the Make Fantasy Football Great Again Fantasy Football League. We should maybe shorten, but MFFGA Fantasy Football League. Well, let's get into it. This week, quite the eventful week, Chuck.
I thought it was pretty ho-hum.
Ho-hum. You were dethroned.
It was, I'll tell you what. Apparently, I don't know. I don't think I've ever had two games like this come down to Monday night, so tough season. Maybe that's because normally I'm not doing this well. But we had the week with the game with Todd back in week 3 or 4, I think, that came down to Monday night and just a few points there. And then Rich, hurricane force winds Monday night, coming from behind. Things started off, I'll walk you through it. I'll walk you through my perception of the night. So, feeling okay at first. I'm like, we got to make sure some things go our way, but I think we got a chance. And then first thing that happens, obviously the defense shoots up to like 15 points because it's 0-0 to start with. But you know that's not going to stay the same. And then he's got, who is it? Cooper, right? Amari Cooper.
Yep.
And right away, the guy throws an interception. The wide receiver throws an interception. He's got -2. I'm like, okay, we got this. We got this in the bag. He's on an off night. Defense is going to go down. We're good. Well, then he proceeds to just score and get reception after reception. And the defense blocks a kick, I think, gets a fumble recovery for a touchdown, gets an interception, gets like 4 sacks or something. And it's just a nightmare scenario coming to life. Late in the fourth quarter, I see his score surpasses mine. And I'm just praying, man. I'm praying. Because I'm like, all I need is the Denver Browns to kick another field goal. And that'll drop that defense down into the next category, and I will win. And the Browns, for me at least, were still a factory of sadness tonight, or Monday night. They could not come through with it for me. And Rich and the Hurricane Force had to win by a Yahoo League record, I believe 0.37.
0.37 points. 0.37 points.
0.37 points for him to take down the top seed.
With Derek Carr scoring 1.94 points.
Yeah, Derek Carr did not do well for him. It did not feel like it was going to happen. It was, I got to say, there are, if we extend back to the NFL.com days, there have been closer games. I believe the record is actually like 0.9. But that was back when everybody was fielding a team scoring maybe 80 points a week. So to get it at this high with all the rules that our grand commissioner has set up to make things happen, it's I don't know. I don't know that he'll hit that at least for a very long time. But it was not enjoyable to watch for me. I'm sure Hurricane Force Wind fans were all over it, whoever those people are. I assume Josh.
I mean, he basically wins if Hurricane Force wins. So
he does win. It helped him.
Second team.
Now, I gotta say here, a few things to kind of pull out. Obviously, well played by Rich. Overall, it didn't look like he was going to be a threat, but he pulled a Todd from years past and was able to drop the big points when he needed it. I believe, trying to pull it up here, this was the highest points that Rich has scored this year. Hurricane Force Wind's previous top score was 120 in a loss to the Bulldogs in week 2. And otherwise, it's been more around 100 or below. And he just pops out the one.
I lost your audio there for a second, Chuck, but that's okay.
Just talking about how rough it was.
Yeah, it was tough. Okay, I'm seeing some chat here. I don't know who Three Corners Weekly is, and Steven from
apparently
ESPN.
It's Steven from ESPN.
I don't know if you want our show following yours, man. Considering we're talking about a piddly old not family, but like private fantasy football league. But hey, maybe our banter is entertaining.
Well, that's the thing, though. There's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of people out there who are talking about just general fantasy football. We talk about the real little people, the ones that matter.
A very
that everyone feels
specific fantasy football league.
I mean, I'd be happy to see some others and just comment on them.
Yeah, it's true. So do I get to talk about my
we can talk about your upset. You got to be on the happier end of things.
My finally got a win after 4 weeks. I squeaked it out barely, 96.66 to my wife's 95.38. Jordan, you jerk. I actually kind of believed you, man. You jerk. Three Corners Weekly. What the heck is that? Did you just create some sort of ghost account? Is it actually a newspaper?
It's like it. Something from maybe the Patriots area.
I'm assuming when he said Steven from ESPN, he's trying to like say it's Stephen A. Smith. I didn't even know he was on ESPN. I thought he got fired from ESPN. Anyway,
he's
90.
He's on Restream now.
Yeah, 96.66 to 95.38, and that was
very tight.
Again, my entire team underperformed like no other. My wife's kicker didn't even score any points. And like Daniel Jones scored me 8.5 points. The only reason I'm even in this game is because AJ Brown scored 32.8 points. Otherwise, we're not even having this conversation. Mark
I got to tell
you,
Denver overshot as well.
Yes.
And Pierce was right on. Pierce was right on, but otherwise severely underperforming. Now, Kara's team underperformed in their kicker, her defense, and Devontae Adams basically severely underperformed. She had it worse.
But I mean, if you look at our, the projected points, like I gotta go back and look at the stats because I basically underperform every time. But like, I mean, we were projected to be fairly close, but she was.
Yeah, I would say the margin was spot on projection.
Yeah, but Hey, I'm happy to take home a win finally.
I know.
2-6,
Both
like
the really throwing off my predictions from last week. I'm gonna have to run the table now to reach what I thought, and you're pretty much gonna have to lose out. So, again, it's a game you just don't know what's gonna happen, except it comes down to who you play and how they're doing.
Yeah, and then the other ones were pretty. My dad, Todd winning by 30 points, 40 or 20, 30 points, and Embrace the Suck.
Biggest blowout.
Winning by 50 points. So,
well, to be fair, the Suck Stops here never decided to remove Waller from the tight end position, even though he was out, I believe, last Friday when we were talking about it even. So
yeah, he forgot to check his
Not
team.
that he would have scored you 50 points, but let's be a classy league here. Be a classy league.
Yeah. So anyway, that is last.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I don't know that I have the stats to totally prove this, but I think I feel it in my heart. You probably all feel it in your heart. I think this is the first time ever that the New London Bulldogs have been in first place alone.
Yeah, I don't know if that's ever happened.
I feel like it can't have. It's definitely not after 8 weeks.
No, he's been in the top 3, I think, before, but not to that extent. But
more like
I guess it's
high.
Yeah. Well,
we've got a pretty good log here. 3, 2, and 6 teams.
What's that? Yes, 3.
We got 3, 2, and 6 teams. So, that's 2 games back from the 4th seed. So really, nobody's out.
It's anybody's game.
If the
anybody's game.
Vista McFlurry is going right here. Could happen.
Hey,
so maybe while we're at it,
I just have to squeak in.
Yeah, squeak in.
Let's look at next. All right, so next week, or this coming week, I should say, I'm looking at some of the. We have the Vista McFlurry versus the North Shore Nincompoops, which is Sam. We have Embrace the Suck, my brother Josh, against you, the Poning Polecats. The Suck Stops here, my brother Jordan, against my wife, the Fighting Fergals. And Hurricane Force Wins, which is Rich, aka Alexa, versus my dad, Todd, the New London Bulldogs. So
it's a tasty lineup.
Yeah, this is now so officially this is now the second time we're playing this person, correct?
Last week was
the first time we're playing somebody for the second time. So it's the start of the second half or the rematch.
This is actually kind of the real start of the second half because we have that last regular season game where we play someone a third time. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think I see some big stuff here. The Polecats against Embrace the Suck. You got 6-2 against 5-3. If Embrace the Suck wins, it brings them up to tied for second. That would be quite a fall down for the Polecats. I don't think we can overlook the Hurricane Force Wins. I would not have been envious of his schedule, having the Polecats and the Bulldogs back to back. But he managed by the Polecats. Can he take down the top 2 weeks in a row?
I mean, that'd be pretty crazy. But my dad does have McCaffrey on a bye. That could help.
McCaffrey scored him a crap ton of points last week.
Dude, he was my keeper for 3 years. Hadn't done anything.
It appears to be broken now that he is on the 49ers. We need him to get injured in the name of our leagues.
Oh, my gosh. I sat with him on my team for 3 years, and he did nothing.
Should have one more try, I guess.
Should I done one more try?
You just never know when to.
He would have been better than Jonathan Taylor, Jonathan Taylor, who was my first round pick, and McCaffrey would have been my first round pick. I just didn't see
Although
him
just
as a
not
first
better
round
than
pick.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah, that's true. Although I mean,
I don't know. He would have been way too risky as a first round pick. And honestly, had he stayed on the Panthers, he probably is up and down a little bit and probably gets injured. But yeah, I don't know. You got McCaffrey on the bye, so it's definitely possible. He's currently projected to win. Hurricane Force wins. Although he's got the McCaffrey in there, but who's he going to put in? He's not going to throw in Elliott. He's on the bye too. He's going to have to pick up a running back. Or
that's going to be.
He's going to have to dig into the waivers.
Tough. He's going to have to. Although honestly, if I was my dad, I would throw probably Chase on IR. You'd even throw Elliott on IR. I mean, I know who I'd pick up if I were him.
Can you put him on IR
when you're out? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have a guy on who's out.
I thought you could only use IR if they were actually on IR in real life too.
Nope. I think they have to just be out.
All right.
But I'm not 100%
Rich
sure
might just be hitting the people at the right time. He might just be hitting people at the right time. He hits Todd with McCaffrey out. He hit me when Eckler and Kelsey were out.
Just got to take advantage.
Not saying that Hurricane. Yeah, he's doing it. So if he comes off with this win, and we're talking about him next week, I think we're talking about a different Rich than we've ever talked about before.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Rich, I got to just throw this out here. We got our chat group for the MFFGA. And so obviously Rich wins right away. I comment out the upset 0.37 record. And for the first time in, I don't know, months, Rich comments. Now, a guy who just toppled the number one guy, barely, Monday night, squeaked by, seeing everything else we talk about. Is he happy? Is he overjoyed? Is he going to have some exclamation points, maybe emoji? No, he just says, I couldn't believe it, period.
Very robotic.
Not 1 minute later, in our theory, his controller and overlord, Josh, comments as if he just switched accounts. As you said, you never know until the end. And then Rich never comes back.
It's true. Never seen him. He's
never seen him. And that comment there did not help me feel like he's alive.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it, period. And then Josh, no lie, seconds later, as you said, you never know until the end. It's very suspicious.
I think the last Rich said on the chat was who his keeper was going to be.
Yeah.
And then the last thing before that was him backing up Josh during the controversies.
Yes. He basically just backs up Josh during controversies and then
perhaps we need to call him out more.
We'll see. We'll see
when we get a cease and desist letter.
Yeah, right.
So those two are big games. And then, I mean, North Shore against the McFlurries, you got 2-2-6 teams. Somebody's going to end up at the bottom, and somebody's going to move ahead, potentially upwards of 2 positions. You could, with a win and a loss by the suck stops here, move up to 6th.
That's right. That is stinking right.
Mm-hmm. That would be a reversal for sure.
The ideal would be Hurricane Force wins, loses. Suck stops here, loses. I win.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, just
honestly, the other game doesn't affect you too much.
But just for, maybe insurance, you beat Josh so that he has that extra win on, so it gets a little closer to me.
5-4, yeah. 5-4 against 3-6, yeah.
And that could bump me up into the fringe. I would bump me to fringe.
After this week, if you're sitting 6th at 3-6 and the guy in 5th is 4-5, that's definitely fringe. You got plenty of games left at that point to be talking playoffs. And I don't know, but that would require the North Shore Nimcompops to have an unprecedented 6-game losing streak.
Oh man, that'd be tough, especially because Jared Allen is playing the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Waddle's playing Chicago.
And let's face it, the North Shore nincompoops live off of luck.
Yes.
And they can't go this long without getting some luck.
Yeah.
I foresee him dropping a 200.
200 with Jared, with Allen.
Don't know who's getting it. Maybe Kyle Pitts finally does some stuff.
We got a comment. Dave and I never heard of Rich until one day randomly Josh said, my buddy Rich is moving to Florida. Wouldn't me and Dave have known about one of Josh's buddies? We know everyone else he has known.
Ooh, the intrigue.
The imaginary friend from Canada.
He's from Canada too?
No, he's not from Canada.
I was going to say, that's just.
I think he's from Wisconsin. Well, at least the story that it was told to us is that this person was from Wisconsin. But
I heard he just showed up fully formed.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, yes,
there's a great week of games here. There's going to be, there's not really a chance of things just staying status quo next week.
No. It's going to be tough. I mean, it's possible, but like it's going to require every domino to fall in the exact right spot.
Yeah, and I get some games back. I get Eckler and Kelsey back, but I do have Barkley on bye. I think this is my last real big hit for bye on that. Speaking of that, I do want to just go back for one tiny second to my upset loss. And that would be, I fully intended to swap out Ryan Suckup for Tyler Bass. But because Suckup was playing on the Thursday night and I had conferences last week, I just forgot. And at first I was like, 11 points, whatever. You take that from a kicker anyway.
It's pretty good.
No, Tyler Bass got 12.
That would have been the deciding point.
Would have done it. So don't wait until Thursday to set your league. Make sure you're checking.
Check tonight, people. Tonight.
Check tonight, because tomorrow there's a game. Who is playing tomorrow night?
That's a good question.
It is the Philly and Texans. So you got Damian Pierce going. I got Jalen Hurts going.
Yep.
That should be a big game for Hurts over the Texans. I got to say, he's 25.
They're pretty bad.
They got spirit, though.
All right, next, waivers. So
yes.
I don't necessarily want to give away too much because I got my eye on some of these, but I was looking at the waiver wire just
at this point you can go nab people, right? We don't have to
wait. Nab people right now, but I'm like, it's gonna be tough. I'm just looking at the waiver wire. I don't know if somebody dropped him, but Tony Pollard is out there for Dallas.
And he is a performer.
He scored 37.9 points last week.
He is better than Elliott.
And Elliott is out.
And only Mike McCarthy doesn't know that.
And you dropped him.
I dropped him because he wasn't
2 weeks ago. Like 2 weeks ago. So
I dropped him because he was too inconsistent. You didn't know if he was going to get the carries. He's better than Elliott, but they don't give him the plays.
So if anybody needs a running back, that's an option.
I just don't think I'm in the market for him because maybe this week I'll try since I don't have Barkley, but I got normally Barkley and Eckler, and then I've got Hopkins as my flex right now. There's really no room for him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if grabbing him this week. No, Pollard's on a bye, dude.
He's on a bye. But I mean, you could snag him for the future.
I mean, the very least I can try to grab him so nobody else does.
Yeah.
That's what the real team do.
And then I did notice Khalil Herbert as well is out there for running backs if somebody's like super
really after Herbert and Pollard is a pretty big drop off.
But I mean, like Khalil Herbert is turning in to be the number one in Chicago. And since their quarterback can't really do much, it'd be a good pickup too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as like people go out there now, like the quarterback waiver wire is complete trash. Trust me, I have picked, combed, and
Most
sucked
waiver
off.
wire is complete trash at this point.
Sucked
I don't
off
think
every.
Marcus Mariota is going to be your savior at this point.
I have tried to pick any little scrap I can, and it's not working for me. But there is a wide receiver.
After they benched Zappa, yeah.
Now, I'm not a big fan of Brandon Ayuk or Curtis Samuel. I just don't think. But McCole Hardman is still out there, which really surprised me. He scored 26.5 points last week.
But are you just chasing points?
I'm not chasing points. I'm just saying.
Or is he going to be a contender?
I think what's nice about McCole Hardman, though, is he's a running wide receiver. So he does get a lot of those end around things. And all it takes is like one crazy one to those rushing yards. Even if you only get 20 rushing yards, that's way more than receiving yards.
That's true.
It's almost.
And I will say he starts the year with 6 and 4 targets, and then drops to 1 for 2 weeks, and now he's bounced back with 5, 4, and 4. Now, for only getting 4 targets, turning that and 32 yards, it's the rushing. It's the rushing.
He's because I think if I'm not mistaken,
will he continue to be used in that way?
Well, I just don't think Chiefs rushing attack is super strong, so I think they could probably use him more often. We'll see. Again, not
eye on him.
Not a huge pick. It was just somebody I saw. Trust me, Garrett Wilson's out there. I had him on my team for the entire year. Has done absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Not worth it. And Devonta Smith, he pales into comparison to AJ Brown. So it's like he's just picking up scraps from AJ Brown. So unless AJ Brown's double covered, he's not going to be getting a lot of points.
And honestly, that's everybody who's left. Everybody who's left is in the shadow of someone else on their team.
Yeah.
And it's going to require an injury to put them in the spotlight, or just a game where the real star was smothered or something. Things you just can't rely on for things. Yeah. But if you're in the position like that, all you can do is try throwing guys in there and seeing if something sticks.
So those are my waiver picks. There is an interesting breaking news, though. We do have a trade.
Yes. We saw that there is a trade offer.
Chuck has a trade offer
here. I don't.
He has not looked at this.
I don't think there has ever been. I don't think there has ever been an actual trade. Let's see. Fist of McFlurry has proposed that you view those details here. View trade. I've never even traded. Here's Davey Boy. So I got to check out for him. He is proposing John Taylor for Joe Burrow. Both are rostered 100%. He's really tired of John Taylor. I can tell you that. We've heard Dave go first round pick to garbage heap. You sell him, so how could I pass this up?
Another one man's trash is another man's treasure. So hear me out here. Hear me out.
Okay.
So he's a first round pick now, and he's a legitimate first round pick. Mm-hmm. Yes, he has not scored a lot, and he is slightly injured right now. So he's either, it's game time decisions a lot of times. But Joe Burrow's sitting on your bench. Jalen Hurts, the only chance Joe Burrow has of playing on your team is if Jalen Hurts gets injured. Because you're past your bye. You're past your bye. Yeah, but you know what's going to happen after I trade Jonathan Taylor? He's going to have a 45-point game. Just good. So I am in desperate need of a quarterback. I am literally sitting here with Geno Smith.
And Joe Burrow would instantly make you, at least in the conversation.
Yeah. And I can deal. Jonathan Taylor's been getting me 10 points a game average. I can put in Damian Harris and fill that void. And as much as I want to keep Jonathan Taylor because I don't want to blow my first round pick, but
I don't know. If I were to keep Jonathan Taylor, I guess I'm not sure. Who in a trade situation would that be treated like a waiver? That would be something we'd have to have a discussion about.
Yeah. I don't know if it would go with first round.
Honestly, the way he's going,
you'd probably get it. No, you would. I would say you get whatever you traded for him. So wherever you picked up Joe Burrow.
I picked him up around, I don't know, 8th or 9th round. Something like that.
So I think that's what you would get.
That's fair. I don't know that Jonathan Taylor is looking like anybody would want him as a keeper at this point next year. Why would I pass up getting Saquon Barkley for a 12th round pick next year at this point? So that may not come up. We do know that if it does come up, Josh has Rich's vote.
Yes. But luckily everybody else is against Josh. So
generally speaking.
Yeah, I'll just rally the troops and we'll just.
Do you think this trade would pass? Do you think that the league would vote to accept it?
I was talking to Jordan today about it, and he's like, the veto feature is only for like really bad trades where like somebody's dumping their team. He's like, for legitimate trades where people are trying to make their team better, I don't think that the veto function should even be available. Jordan, he was like, I don't even think we should be able to veto.
If I remember correctly, the only other trade that's even been proposed was between the Pony Polecats and the now defunct, I don't even remember what their names were, Bosco Bell Bulldogs. Of course, we remember the owner there going through much controversy before being sent to prison. But that trade, if I remember correctly, involved Saquon Barkley also.
Yeah, for like a kicker.
And the league did veto that one.
We did veto that one because you were tanking and she was in the playoffs.
No, it was the other way around.
Yeah, it was the other way around.
I was essentially running both teams.
Yes. And you were trying to flip them between.
The mistake I made was not just calling the owner of the Basketball Bulldogs Rich.
Yes. Then
nobody would have thought about it.
True.
Now, one thing, can you trade future draft picks?
I think that's allowed, but I don't know if that's...
It was like, okay, Jonathan Taylor and next year's 5th round pick.
5th round, and you got Joe Burrow in an 8th. He's a quarterback, man. I'll give you like
7th, 8th.
I'll give you an 8th pick
because that would be more valuable. But I don't know. Can we do that on Yahoo?
I mean, we could just do a gentleman's agreement, and Josh would just have to fix it that way.
That's possible.
So that means I would get 2.
Can he set it up for someone to miss a draft pick and someone else get it?
Hang on, let me check.
We'll have to obviously. We need to be making this list of commissioner questions for when we get him on the show.
Let me. I'm just looking at the evaluate the trade. You're pretty much coming out on top or even. My point differential is actually dropping by 0.69 points.
Let's see. And when it gives me the opportunity to make a counter offer, it does have an option of adding trade picks. Down here, after all of my players, it has options that tick a box for 2023 draft picks. So that is,
oh, it does.
I can counter and ask for a draft pick as well. That would encourage me more to do this trade because I don't know that Taylor would be getting in on my team. I'd be holding him kind of as a hopeful.
Just in case.
If he starts suddenly balling, gets better, or one of my guys goes down or something. So I'll have to think about it.
It's interesting that Yeah, because like this team, basically, it gives you a plus 2.27 point differential this next week. And so it's basically giving you a plus 16.95 point differential for the entire season. Basically, if you did your optimal lineup for the rest of the season, he's going to give you plus 16.95 points. Me adding Joe Burrow, according to this, yes. According to this, Joe Burrow gives me a negative 27.48 point differential for the entire season. Only week 14 is it even giving me positive points on this trade. I would say
my thought would have to be, because I would have to include some future draft compensation. Looking at it from you, you're trying to get a Hail Mary to get back in the season, and you'd be willing to mortgage a little bit of the future for that. So my thing is, am I willing to gain some about the future with the somewhat slight risk of losing Jalen Hurts as a quarterback and suddenly probably being completely out of the conversation?
Sure.
Maybe not. I mean, I've got enough strong players that if I had in even a serviceable quarterback, I'm probably still doing okay. Could throw in Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
He's going to see some playtime this year. If the Packers don't turn this shit.
He probably will, but all right. So what are you talking about? Like, you want an eighth? I'll give you an eighth.
I'm going to have to do a little thinking around on this thing and just see. But yeah, I think it'd be around an eighth probably.
I'd be willing to give up whatever you got for Joe Burrow. So if you got him on an 8, I'll give you an 8.
Dameon Pierce.
No, I don't. I'm not giving you Dameon Pierce.
It's a value.
He's the thing that's gonna cover me by giving up Jonathan Taylor. Like, Dameon Pierce is like the guy that I'm okay with having.
Yeah, I gotta say, season point differential, for some reason it gives you a negative 27 and me a plus 16.
It's because Jonathan Taylor is averaging like 14 points projected every week, but he gets like 10.
But that's not really the true story, because you're not comparing these two guys. They play different positions. You're more comparing the difference between starting Daniel Jones versus Joe Burrow and the difference of having John Taylor versus the next guy up on running back.
Yes. So for you, because Joe Burrow isn't even playing for you, he's not actually hitting your point differential because you're most I took Joe Burrow in the Browns 7. All right, I can give up a 7th. That's fine.
Just before 2 rounds before Tyler Bass, round 9. That was a bit quick on the kicker there.
I give up a 7th.
I might just propose that. It'd be fun to get a trade going here.
It would be.
Also, it'll be a conditional trade. If Jalen Hurts gets injured, Burrow comes right back.
Conditional next week. Oh, got to give him back.
Anytime.
You can have Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, yeah. That's, honestly, even for him last week, that game was pretty low.
Yeah. It's trash. And he scored like 30 points before.
I'm going to counter offer the 7th round pick and John Taylor for Joe Burrow, who did help me quite a bit bye week.
Well, I'm hoping he helps me every week.
Send trade proposal. There was a problem. When trading picks, both teams must give and receive the same number of picks. So if I want to get a pick from you, I have to send a pick to you.
Send me your 14th. Send me your last pick.
What is that for my keeper?
I doubt you're going to keep your 14th pick.
Now we got to do this. What if? Because we're opening a can of worms here. What if What if you trade away your 7th round pick and you choose as your keeper the guy who was your 8th round pick this year? Now he should go for 7th, but you don't have a 7th.
Then it would go up to the next one. You'd lose your 6th.
Oh.
It's your next one up.
All right, let me fix this proposal here. I guess we have to have the same number of draft picks no matter what. Interesting. All right, well, I'm going to take care of Lee. Move on to the next.
Well, that's all I got. That was our final thing on the agenda. Kind of running late. We might have to.
Yeah,
wait.
we can stash.
We have to save logos for the logo list. We should probably think about scheduling a guest coming up.
Absolutely.
Talking to somebody. I know Jordan seemed interested in getting on the show.
I think he'd be a great first guest.
So maybe we talk to him and see about getting him on. So hopefully this trade goes through. Anybody no one's watching anymore, but anybody who watches this in the future, make sure you vote yes. Make sure to vote yes on Proposition 1.
Prop 1.
Josh doesn't believe in player rights. He believes that there should be no exceptions for trades or drops, even in the case of rape or incest.
We crossed that line there.
Sorry, I've been watching a lot of political ads.
I got a text today supporting the Republican Congress candidate. We got an open seat here because the sitting Democrat one is not coming back. And basically he literally just said, I don't even know if I have it anymore. No, I deleted it. But he literally, he did. Here we go. He says, I'm Derek Van Orden, Navy SEAL and candidate. Let me introduce you to my opponent, career politician Brad. Brad has never had a job outside of politics. Seriously. He's hung around the ladder long enough to climb the ladder, being politician year after year. Now, I got to stop there. He's been in this for his entire career. And as far as he's gotten on the ladder is running for Congress?
Of the state, right? State Congress.
For Congress here in Wisconsin's 3rd district, yeah. So we're talking like the bottom rung of the ladder is where he is. And you're calling him like some guy who's been climbing it forever?
Maybe,
he's a bad climber. He's a bad climber, I think. It will be more. He'll do nothing. He won't even try.
He'll do nothing. He won't even try. That's pretty.
He'll do nothing. And then he says it'll just be more inflation, crime, and failed big government ruining your life. Me, I'm not a career politician. I spent 26 years fighting for our country. I'm a Navy SEAL, and I know how to get things done. That's why I'm asking for your vote. So basically, we have one guy who is just going to do nothing, and another guy who apparently just by his nature of being a Navy SEAL will automatically fix our problems.
Fix our problems.
It's a no-brainer. I don't think I've gotten one piece of propaganda yet that is just them telling me what they will do. It's just telling me what their opponent sucks at.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But obviously it works.
I don't think I've seen any positive political ads in general, like even on TV. They're all attacking.
Nobody's for anybody. They're just against
everybody. Yeah, pretty much. So, well, either way, if we have to go to a vote, please vote for our trade so that we can have some activity on our league. And I actually get a chance to have a quarterback.
I would say Sam and Jordan should not be in favor of this trade.
Why is that?
Because they're the ones down on the bottom too.
Oh yeah.
This hurts them the most. Them and possibly Rich and Kara.
Yeah, it's true. Ooh. But all right, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
See you guys next week. Good luck to everybody out there.
Be a very interesting week to follow. I'm looking forward to it.
Like and subscribe for our 5 people that listen to this podcast. Most
Smash
of you
that bell so you get those notifications.
Yeah, gotta smash that bell. Maybe we'll get some sweet sponsors here. Don't know. Maybe. Maybe we'll.
Well, I mean,
we might be moving over to ESPN behind Stephen A. Smith.
Sounds like we might be hitting the big times here. Well, thanks for watching. If you made it this far,
all right.
We spent a long time on that show, but it had to be.
All right. See you guys.